Hey guys, it is Patrick and welcome to the channel Double Double Games, where we talk about games, video games specifically. If this is your first time on the channel and you like what you see and you like what you hear, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like it, like it. If you dislike it, well, I guess dislike the video. Yeah. So yeah. Without further ado, today we're going to be talking about my top 5 games that I would like to see come to the PlayStation Plus Premium service. We know that the rollout of the PlayStation Plus Premium service has kind of been a little bit shaky so far in Asia where it has been released. The games are, what are they? What are the games? They're running at 50 hertz, and you know what? That's kind of slow. I know in Europe that's what they released at originally, but here in North America and also in Japan they released at 60 hertz. So that's what we're used to. So if we were to play that, it would be running a little bit slow, whereas people in like the UK, the UK, the British people, they would be used to the 50 hertz, right? That's kind of what they're nostalgic to. Also with the PS Plus service and the PS1 games, there's not too much of a catalog of classic games, right? And there's also a bunch of glitches happening left, right, and center with its graphics. But you know what? That is not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to bitch and complain about the crappy back catalog of PS1 classic games. We are here to talk about the top 5 games that I would like to see come to the service. But before we talk about that, why don't we talk about the games that are currently on there? So I think there's maybe about 8 of them. There is Ape Escape, which is a good one. You know, some of us played it, and I'm pretty sure some of us that played it, we liked it. There's Hot Shot, Sculf, IQ Intelligent, Cube, Jumping Flash, Mr. Driller, Siphon Filter, which is another great game, Super Stardust Portable, which I think is a PSP game, Tekken 2, Worms World Party, and Worms Armageddon. I'm not too sure about those ones, but Worms games, they're fun. You pick it up for 30 minutes here or there, and you get to play with a couple friends, you know? Nice quick little game to play along with. But yeah, not too many games, clearly. I feel like a lot of people my age, the age of 28, millennials, maybe people older than millennials. I don't know what gen that is. Gen X? Is that it? But older people specifically is what I'm getting at. Older people are specifically looking more forward and towards the more classic PlayStation 1 catalog. And it just kind of blows that there's just so much limitation with what's out right now. You'd kind of think that PlayStation would be kind of on top of like, okay, let's maybe at least get 20 games, you know? Or at least what they did with the PlayStation Classic or the PlayStation Mini, whatever the hell it's called. Get all of those games and just put it on the service, right? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, but here's to hoping that within the coming weeks, coming months, that the games will maybe get a little bit better. Let's start off with my number 5 pick on what I want to see come to the service. Number 5, Spyro the Dragon / the Spyro the Dragon series. Is that cheating? Like, I know I said game, but it could be a series, right? Yeah, this is my video. I get to choose. Spyro the Dragon series. I know that we already had the Reignited trilogy, and that was great. It was really, really great, but nothing hits harder than playing the original games with the old school graphics and the old school music and the old TVs that are like CRT. Like I know with the PS1 Classic, you get that CRT layover filter. That's it. You get the filter, so that'll be cool. But yeah, I remember playing all the Spyro games for multiple hours on end. It would take up like a day, a week, a year, you know, but I played them. I 100%ed them time and time again. And honestly, sometimes I would even go to bed and and just leave the TV with the game on in the background and just fall asleep to the Spyro music and just kind of cycle through each of the games. I don't know if that's weird. If you did that, let me know in the comments below. The comments below. Like, I know that this pick is kind of like a throwaway just because, it's a remaster, but like, the Reignited trilogy doesn't hit that nostalgia feel, and I feel like including these games is hitting that nostalgia. It's what I feel like PS1 Classics is supposed to do. You're supposed to tug on that nostalgia thing that you got in your body, right? And enjoy the game with its OG graphics. And yeah, on to my next pick, which is pick number 4, which might also be another throwaway, and that being Crash Bandicoot. And yes, I know Crash Bandicoot also had its remaster, remake trilogy with the Insane trilogy. And nothing hits harder than playing that janky, polygon friggin' graphics back in the day. Like, I know I could probably just reiterate everything I said with Spyro the Dragon and its trilogy. I played it for hundreds of hours as a kid. I beat it multiple times, But like I said, nothing hits harder than playing the original games. But if I am going to focus in on any one of those Crash Bandicoot games, I do want to focus on Crash Bash. That is one game that we haven't had a remaster of, and I think would do great on our PS Plus premium service. Crash Bash, I don't know if you know, but it's another spin-off game from the main Crash series, but this time it's, I guess, kind of more Mario Party-like, in the sense that you're playing mini-games. So you're, to like play each mini-game, you'd start off in this warp room and collect crystals, but to collect that crystal, you gotta beat the mini-game. So it's kind of similar to the main Crash game series, but also different, like Mario Party, because it's mini-games, I guess. But anyways, there's a bunch of really great mini-games within Crash Bash. Some of them you're on a pogo stick and you're trying to make like the whole area your color and collect those points. Others you're on a polar bear and trying to go and push off the people from the middle of the stage or whatever off to the side. And then another one's really cool. So you're in the spaceship type of thing and you've got a person here, here, and here. And it's kind of like 4-way air hockey, which is really cool. And you just got to score on the other person, or other people, I guess. Other characters, because they're not really people. They're all animals. But yeah, that's my number 4 pick. And yes, it was Crash Bash. Number 3. This one was close to being my second. But number 3 is pretty similar and on topic with the other games that we've had on this list so far. It's a platformer, and I believe it's the first 3D platformer for this mascot. I'm pretty sure anyways. That mascot being Pac-Man and their debut PlayStation game, PacMan World. When I played this game, it was an absolute blast. It had really great music. The colors were super light, vibrant, and just eye-catching. It was really pleasing just to play this game. The game starts out with Pac-Man's friends, not Pac-Man specifically. Pac-Man's friends on their way over to Pac-Man's place for his 20th birthday. And they actually all end up getting kidnapped. Which, funnily enough, I think his 20th birthday is actually the 20th anniversary of Pac-Man and its creation. But in the game, you kind of go around to different levels and rescue his friends to ensure Pac-Man gets his birthday party. Not that when you beat the game, he does get his birthday party. But still, the levels, like I said, they're fun, they're vibrant, they're really eye-catching. It includes a variety of different puzzles, from playing the classic Pac-Man game with the power dots and stuff, to being in a spaceship, shooting things, and then you're also diving underwater to collect power pellets and fruits and stuff. And yeah, overall, it's a really great game, and I would also recommend this one. My number 2 pick, though. Number 2. It is a superhero game. It was published in the year 2000 and developed by Neversoft. Yeah, published in 2000 by Activision, developed by Neversoft, and they used the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater engine to power this superhero game. That game being my number 2 pick, SpiderMan. I'm a massive SpiderMan fan, and I as a kid, I absolutely loved playing this game. I was 6 years old when it came out, and I played so many hours of it. So first off, this game was a graphical masterpiece, at least to my 6-year-old self. I generally felt like I was Spider-Man swinging through rooftops and building to building with Spider-Man's webs, and then it's like, you compare it to, I think it's 2017 is when Marvel Spider-Man released. You compare it to that game, and it's not even fair. Like, really, it's not even fair. The game, wow. The game is just, it's crazy how far we've come with technology and graphics. The game, though, it has an awesome storyline which revolves around Spider-Man's arch nemesis, Dr. Octopus. You have to stop him from launching a dangerous symbiote invasion around the world. Monster Ock makes his debut as this insane, like, carnage Dr. Octopus fusion. Like, if you've never seen this character, give it a Google, because I believe it's the first time you ever get to see, first and only time you get to see Monster Ock. It's something that gave 6-year-old Patrick nightmares, and you know, not that I'm ashamed to say, but 6-year-old Patrick would wake up with a bed just drenched the next morning, because yeah, they were pretty scary dreams as a kid. Like, Google it yourself and tell me you don't have nightmares. Anyways, that's my number 2 pick. It's Spider-Man. Next up, before we get to pick number 1, let's mention a few honorable video games that could have made the list, but didn't. First one being the Final Fantasy series, specifically, I guess, Final Fantasy VII. I believe these games are already available with the PS Plus Premium tier via the PS4 section, so I decided not to include it on the list. If they weren't included with that section, I would definitely have included the Final Fantasy series on my top 5 list. Next game is Dragon Quest VII, or I guess technically speaking, back then it was Dragon Warrior 7. I didn't include this game because I played it later on in life for the 3DS when it got its little remaster there as Dragon Quest VII. Really loved it, except I decided not to include this game on my list in the end, just because I don't have that nostalgic feeling that I do with the other games on my list. As well as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was also another honorable mention. It didn't make the list because it also had its share of remasters throughout the years, and its most recently 1+2 remake. I just thought that my Crash and Spyro remakes were just more nostalgic. And at the end of the day, even though all of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater tracks absolutely slapped, but those are just a few of the games that didn't make the list that definitely could have. Or my number 1 spot that I wish to make it to the PS Plus Premium service is definitely a controversial one. It had mixed reactions throughout the RPG community. This one being The Legend of Dragoon. If you didn't know, The Legend of Dragoon was released a few years after Final Fantasy VII, and it didn't nearly receive the commercial success that Final Fantasy VII did, which I think it should have. I think Legend of Dragoon, haters gonna hate, is better than Final Fantasy VII. I really, really do. Sure, there were a lot of cliches throughout that game, but who cares? It was great. I loved it, and many other people loved it as well. So much so that there's a massive cult following of The Legend of Dragoon. And I think that this game really does deserve that remake, remaster, reimagining that Final Fantasy VII recently got in 2020 with what they're doing, Final Fantasy Remake Part 1 or whatever. I thought that the battle system and battle mechanics were definitely better than Final Fantasy VII. I know I'm comparing them a lot right now, but it just kind of makes me upset that The Legend of Dragoon didn't get as much attention and praise as FF7. So, battle mechanics. There was one mechanic specifically called additions. Additions were, I guess, different types of combat moves, and when used properly via time-coordinated button press... Yeah, time-coordinated button presses, you'd execute a chain of attacks to become like an ultimate attack, I guess, called an addition. You'd gain SP, which is your spirit power, which you would then use to turn into a Dragoon, which was like a half-human, half-dragon type of like person thing. And in doing so, you'd boost your attacks, you'd gain a buttload of like magical abilities that you could also use, and you just kind of look like a real badass. The beginning starts with your main character slash protagonist, Dart. He's traveling to his hometown, and then all of a sudden he's attacked by a dragon, and then he gets saved from this other moody person called Rose, and she lets Dart know that there's a Sandora army that attacked his town. When he gets back to his hometown, he discovers that his entire village or whatever has been destroyed, and his flame or whatever, like his girlfriend person, Shayna or Shauna, was actually taken prisoner. And yeah, you pretty much gotta go save her and the world. Like I said, or like I haven't said, it's a typical JRPG. You get some party members along the way as the story progresses. You've got to go after a moody dude with white hair and a long sword, and you're also this moody guy that has to go save the world, and then hopefully at the end you save your moody girlfriend type of thing, you know? But it's a really great game. Like, I know I'm not doing the best trying to sell this game at all, but this game really is a 10 out of 10. I play it probably once every few years just because I love playing this game. I love the story of it, and like the music, it absolutely slaps. The graphics were pretty good for its time period. Yes, it's a cliche of a story, but to me it was great. It was awesome. And if you love JRPGs and you haven't played this one, I would definitely recommend adding this to your list to play. Anyway, so that's it for this video. If you liked what you heard and what you saw, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you didn't like the video, like, you know, hit the dislike button wherever it might be, and don't come back, or do come back. It's up to you. Maybe wait until I release better videos. I don't know. Like I said, it's up to you. I'll see you peeps in the next video. Deuces.